that sense of accomplishment you get when you complete a really difficult task or challenge? Well, that's the sense of accomplishment I'm feeling right now, because I just completed what I feel, anyway, is one of the more difficult challenges that I've finished in recent memory. Hey guys, this is Bill once again with NSPCCC. Today we are looking at one of the best and most classic puzzle games on the NES. That's Dr. Mario. This is card number 25 in the collection. Dr. Mario, I don't know if you want to say it was competition for Tetris, but it was certainly an alternative to Tetris. And it's definitely one of the best puzzle games I've ever played, in my opinion anyway. It plays out similar to Tetris in the respect that you need to get 4 matches, or rather 4 colors in a row in a single match to clear out a virus. And when you do that, it disappears. What makes it slightly different from Tetris is that there are viruses in a jar, and whenever you clear them out completely, you move on to the next level. Whereas in traditional Tetris, it's really a never-ending game. You just keep going and going and going, getting lines and lines and lines until the game ends. Don't have much else to say here, so let's flip this card over and see why this challenge was so awesome to complete. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Pro Challenge says, how many matches can you make from putting 1 vitamin into place? Pro level, that would be 7. Alright, now, what makes this challenge so tough? Well, you gotta really consider how the jar on the screen is laid out. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's only 8 columns within that jar. So, in order to get 7 matches that are different from each other and not connected, you need to basically get, at least I believe, vertical lines in 7 out of 8 columns here, which is extremely difficult when you lay it out. There is a very precise strategy that you need to follow in order to make this happen, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works when we get into the challenge here. Trust me when I say it looks easy, it's not. It took me quite a few attempts to do this, quite a few times resetting the system to get the exact board layout that I wanted. And let's just say I'm glad to have this challenge in my rear view window right now. Alright, sit back, relax, and enjoy Dr. Mario on the NES. Here we go. Alright, I've got a whole lot to say and only a few minutes to say it. This is a quick challenge. First things first, make sure you have a 0 virus level and a low speed. You want to have as little obstruction on the screen and a whole bunch of time to make your decisions. So let's get that out of the way. Alright, now, you're only going to have 4 viruses on the screen at a 0 level. So let's get rid of all of the viruses except for 1. That's the first thing you want to worry about. Get everything out of there except for 1 so you have as much room to work around the jar as humanly possible here. Once that's done, you have probably the toughest part of the game right here, or the challenge. You want to make sure that you continue to reset the game until you have only 1 virus on the bottom or near the bottom of the jar. Once again, you want to have as much room to work around as humanly possible, because trust me, this jar is going to get very high very fast. Alright, that's number 2. Number 3, you want to alternate colors on the bottom of the jar. Why? Well, basically, if you have 2 colors side by side and you get a mega match, let's just say 8 pieces of the same color going off side by side, it still counts as only 1 match. So that is critical. You need to alternate colors on the bottom. By the way, next part, number 4, make sure you protect that virus. Do not set it off early, because if it does, it doesn't matter how many more matches were set to go off after it, they don't count. So, see what I'm doing here? I am protecting it, putting a color on top of it that I know is not going to involuntarily set it off here. And last but not least, this is kind of a minor thing, but it's still kind of important. Make sure that you save one side of the jar for what I will call a junk column, because you need 7 of the 8 columns to create matches. That leaves only 1 column to really fool around with and do whatever you want. Alright, we finally got that out of the way. Now, let's look at what's actually happening on screen here. So again, it takes 4 colors in a row to make a match, right? Well, you might wonder, why am I bothering with stuff on the ground? Why don't I just go for 4 colors in a row? Well, obviously, when you make 4 in a row, everything attached to it is going to drop, right? And when those pieces drop that's attached to that pill or that vitamin, they need to create matches once they fall and hit the bottom. So that's why it is necessary to have a lot of this legwork done ahead of time, so you can have pieces fall. Once the linchpin, as I call it, is pulled, the rest of the pieces will fall and create that match. So it's going to create a nice little domino effect when this is all said and done. So looking really carefully, we've got a nice little setup on the bottom here. What's going to happen is we're looking for a red and blue piece on the far right. We're going to set it down to set off those 2 pieces. And then once that pill cascade disappears, the rest of the pieces should fall into place. And as you notice, we should have at least 4 per column, and we certainly do at this point. So we're going to use the far left side as our junk column to take care of this. and that's the piece we're looking for. We have the red and blue pill. We're going to send it far over to the right. Watch what happens when we set it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom, gone. Challenge done. Dr. Mario, number 25, in the books. I wish I could say it was that easy, but if I told you how many times I had to reset this game to complete this challenge and get the right pill set up and virus set up, I'd be here forever. And as we look ahead, I can tell you that we have no shortage of complete games on the gamut ready to go. We certainly have some good ones coming. I thank you guys for tuning into this one. Always appreciate your presence. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.